North Square.
Yeah. I like it. See, the post it popped up on the right.
I actually interviewed her for a project on my MBA.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's see what kind are
You need
they.
one of those.
Alright. You guys are in, person, would you like to have it?
Oh, thank you, I'll pass.
I love ones that no, I think they're better.
Thank you. You want to go back there or something?
Okay. Oh, maybe I have a thing.
Mouse is not functioning at the moment, and all I want is that over there on the side.
I haven't ever, I can't write it at all.
Maybe Gorio.
Yeah.
And where is this?
It's right North Square, you know, by Coles, you know, where Cinder Jones has
Oh, yeah.
their operation there. And there's a little general store, and Provisions has a place.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, provision. They were only in Northampton. At one point. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Wow.
Oh, but-
This just cement.
Like 30 seconds. So that, these won't be reflected
Which one's it?
on that. Yeah,
Okay.
her notes, because this just came in.
Okay,
So,
are you sitting here?
Brennan, are you gonna sit or no?
Oh,
You're
I'm gonna do-
from above. Okay, he's gonna do it from above. Upstairs.
Oh, he's doing it from upstairs. Oh, so is he gonna edit it as we? Is Brennan gonna edit? As Donna?
That's a good question. He was gonna take minutes up there, I think is what he
Yeah.
said.
He didn't want to run home in case he had to print.
Oh,
Another
okay, he
copy of it.
does, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I think Frank probably cannot hear us. Is that true, Frank?
I can hear you perfectly.
Thank you. Video is on. Good. Just checking the video settings real quick. Yep, it's got the owl. Okay. All right. I will call the Shutesbury Selectboard meeting to order at 5:03 on 5/20/2025. And our current agenda is first to review the agenda. And we have public comment first, followed by our general business, which is to review and approve meeting minutes from May 6th and May 13th. To review and sign the real and personal property interim year value adjustment agreement, FY 26 for the assessors. To review and vote on approval of the assessor's request to move forward with advertising and a search committee for the administrative assessor position. Review and vote on conservation restriction for the town to obtain a parcel at 101 Leverett Road. That's the Conservation Commission, Beth and Mark Whitnam. To discuss childcare at town meeting and to review and finalize the annual town meeting warrant. And then town administrator reports. Was there anything that we would like to add or change order of on the agenda? Your update?
Yeah, I'll do the letter.
Oh, yes, we do have a letter of officer in charge letter that we will do under the TA update. Thank you. And so I'm going to open it up to public comment. Rita or Eric, unless you have anything you want to jump in about the agenda order. Nope, okay. Does anyone in the room or online have public comment? I see Frank and Leslie. Leslie, I did see Frank's hand first, so I'm gonna do and then we'll do Leslie. Go ahead, Frank.
Thank you. I just had a question about the upcoming public meeting. At the last public meeting at the Shutesbury Elementary School, I asked the town clerk about the internet password, and she said there would be no internet access during this town meeting. Will we be allowed to have internet access, because some of us don't have cell phone service at this meeting, to look up data and other things?
Yes, so just, we don't usually respond to public comment, but I will, we were
Oh.
didn't want to interfere with our attempt to have a hybrid meeting at that, and we needed as much bandwidth as possible. But the next one, it will be in person only, and so yes, we will have passwords for people to look up and be able to view the town meeting documents and stuff, yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good meeting.
Thanks.
Leslie?
Multiple people attended a memorial service on Saturday afternoon for a longtime volunteer in our town. And in years past, we have done memorials in our town reports. And I would ask that the select board consider doing that for the FY25 annual report. It doesn't have to be decided tonight. I just wanted to put that out there that and I love this picture that was given, and we could communicate with the family and see about that. But it's not an assessor's task. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Sure, yeah, we can check with Brennan. I know he's there. The report is being.
No, this is for next year.
Oh, for next year. Oh, okay.
During, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, right, yeah, right, because that's for last year. Right, oh, okay,
Yeah,
sure,
perfect.
that's a great idea. Yeah, yeah, that is a great picture.
Yeah, good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah, it's
Great
a
idea.
lovely service.
Okay, any further public comment in the room or online? Okay, let's go to our first topic to review and approve meeting minutes for May 6th. Do I hear a motion to approve minutes for May 6th, 2025?
I move that we approve the minutes of May 6, 2025.
Second,
All right, is there any edits or comments on those that are presented to us? No, okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. And do I hear a motion to approve the May 13th, 2025?
So, I'll second.
Yeah, any edits or amendments to those that as they are presented?
It's good.
That was good.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. Now we're on to review and sign the real and personal property interim year value adjustment agreement FY26 assessors. Okay. Leslie, do you want to give us a little summary or?
The Board of Assessors discussed it as Rita had requested and handling at the May 14th meeting, and all of the tasks seem like they must be done. This is just for the interim valuation for FY27. It reads that there's a lot more going on, but it's tasks that overlap all throughout the year.
Okay.
This is just for that, and they recommended that assessors, select board approve it.
Okay,
Great.
all right. Do I hear a motion to sign the letter for the 2026 assessing services? Real and personal property.
I move that we,
Listening to a Zoom meeting.
Oh.
I told you about our chief police.
somebody.
time later.
Somebody, you're not on mute. Mute, please mute yourself.
I got it. I'm on it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
I move that we, sign the real and personal property interim year value adjustment agreement for fiscal year 2026.
Okay,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Farrell, I.
Stalker, aye.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. And I will sign and pass it along.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so our next agenda item is to review and vote on approval for the assessor's request to move forward with advertising and a search committee for the administrative position. So at our last meeting, we did approve the job description and the advertisements, I believe. We voted on the advertisements, thank you. And so Leslie, you're asking for us to approve the moving forward with advertising and collecting resumes and such, correct?
Yes, again, Megan had asked us to discuss it at our meeting, which we did on the 14th, and we sorted out some confusion where it seemed like we were duplicating services, but we are not, and there's more that are not happening because I'm just the clerk and I don't do it all. And David was present, he explained it, I think, to us all very well, the need, the serious need to get that process started. I just gave, George a copy of the steps involved, and I know I have it for you too, which I, at the moment, can't find a step that I have for you, but if you do approve that we're ready to move forward, I've got a list of people that we can advertise. I don't know if I'll work with Haley or Brendan, whatever you folks tell me to do, but we're prepared and ready.
Yeah, great.
And I can give you all set it up, I just lost it right now, but I'm gonna take your time.
Okay, do you have a budget for the advertising, or is that something we do through?
We have so much in our operating this year that we are able to do it. We're funding a lot of trainings that have not been happening because David and I are as trained as we're ever gonna be. And so I'm assuming that we can just use that and be done with it. It'd be $100 for the beacon. And the others are free, mostly all free.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the assessor's request of moving forward with advertising search committee?
So moved.
Second,
All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Tucker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay. So now we'll move on to review and vote on the conservation restriction for the town to obtain parcel at 101 Leverett Road. And I saw Beth pop on here, and Beth, could you give us some background information? Where did she go?
He's right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, there she is.
Sure. So yeah, this is a conservation restriction that Mark Whiteman had brought forward. So the whole parcel that he owns there is 18 acres, and the conservation restriction is being put on about 14 of them. The commission spent a lot of time working with Mark to kind of come up with the things that are going to be allowed on the conservation in the area under the conservation restriction and sort of the prohibited acts. And he's been working with the state. You know, the state kind of has a whole process for doing this and a template for the conservation restriction. I'm sure you guys have now seen the conservation restriction, and the Conservation Commission just voted at our last meeting to accept it after we went through a few different renditions of it. We accepted kind of overseeing the CR. So we'll do the annual monitoring of it to make sure people aren't encroaching onto the area that's under the conservation restriction. And yeah, so the Concom is the holder of the conservation restriction, and we've already signed it, and we're looking for the select board to sign on behalf of the town. And then I think I'm looking at now, I think the town administrator signs, and then eventually it goes back to the state where they review it and make sure that it all abides by state laws, and then they eventually sign it. Does anybody have any questions?
Don't have any questions. Do either of you or Eric?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, since we
Okay.
have no questions, do I hear a motion to sign the conservation, I just clicked off, excuse me, the conservation restriction for the town to obtain parcel 101 Leverett Road.
So move.
And I will second.
Okay. And all those in favor,
Farrell, I.
Stocker,
make these on the line. For all three.
Thanks for your work on that, Beth,
Yeah, that's great.
and the Conservation Commission too.
Who doesn't? Rita needs to send that. Okay.
Sure, I think Mateo is kind of managing the actual paperwork, so once that page gets signed, please, get it back to him. And I think it has to be notarized, the page that you're
Okay.
signing. And then, yeah, we'll pull it all together and eventually get it back to the state.
Thank you.
Leslie's a question.
Oh, Leslie, yes.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
First, or statements. First, I was asked to notarize that tonight, so I am witnessing your signatures. And second, we got through the first part of our second agenda item about hiring, but not appointing the search committee.
Okay.
And I will give you these sheets. So after you finish signing, I will notarize and.
Okay,
So
so you're gonna
My fault.
notarize.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry. That was this one and the.
Okay, all right, so on two pages, yeah, sure.
For those on camera, we're just signing paperwork.
So this is the.
That's a whole list of tasks
Okay.
that we're working on.
Okay.
Maintain the Kennedys.
I need to sign that.
We don't need to sign that first page, just a second.
So we're gonna go back to a prior agenda item, related to the assessor's request for advertising and search committee, because we moved on faster than appointing the committee. That was my fault. My sincere apologies. So I think the next thing for us to do, select board, is to help appoint that committee. And based on Leslie's wonderful notes, it says that there should be a representative from the select board, one from personnel, one from FinCom. The town administrator serves as an ex officio, and then 2 to 3 people with technical expertise in the field for about a total of 5 to 7 members for the search committee, if I'm reading that correctly.
And so the select board is our choice or skip. How soon, so this is gonna get going pretty quickly.
We want to be discussing it at the June 6th, 4%. What does it say at the bottom? It tells you the date. that we're moving forward.
June 4th.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
there may be nothing happening by then, but we want the search committee ready to go.
I'm gonna suggest that we, forego a select board representative, given,
Time constraint.
well, time constraints. I'm, unavailable for part of June, Eric's unavailable for part of June, and.
That leaves me.
And you work,
You can do everything.
and you
I work full-time.
and you work full time, so if you're comfortable with that, that, yeah, okay.
And in fact, that's what Gabriel,
Yeah,
not remembering about the search procedure
yeah,
that personnel board had, she said, well, you assessors will.
Right. Yeah.
You're more than welcome to join us anytime, anytime.
okay,
you.
well, that's
In
lovely.
person.
Yeah. Okay, so,
And then you do have a suggestion of April for the personnel board, George for FinCom, Haley for the town administrator, and then there's suggestions of Howard Sepner for the board of registers.
No,
Okay,
for,
the technical.
not board of registers.
I'm
He's our
sorry,
chairman.
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 I'm sorry. You
Okay.
put a title. I said, for the ones with expertise in the field, Howard Sepner and David Burgess and Leslie Bracebridge.
sounds like
Yeah.
a great,
Really?
It sounds like a perfect group of
a lot of
expertise there.
experience, yeah, yeah. Well, I make a motion that we appoint April Stein, George Arvanitis, Haley Bolton, Howard Bettner, David Burgess and Leslie Bracebridge as the, Administrative Assessor Search Committee.
Second,
All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stocker, aye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Thank you all for volunteering.
yeah.
We appreciate that. And I do appreciate the nicely laid out note.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
I appreciate you guys. When I, another time and place, say, I'll have more time together, but it's been limited.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are quickly moving on to the discussion of childcare at town meeting. So this came to us as a request as a possibility for town meeting. And Nettie, I think you were the one that brought it to our attention, or Grace, I'm sorry, Grace. Great.
Yeah.
So we should have a discussion about that. In the past, we have had it, but what are our thoughts and discussion now?
And, definitely a good idea. I know Grace feels very strongly. I think there are probably just some logistical questions that we might want to just start thinking about or put into place for next year. But she's more knowledgeable about it than I am.
Okay. Grace, do you want to fill us in on your thoughts?
So, last time we had childcare for town meeting was 2022. Because that was the big library vote, and we had over 400 people come out, so we knew we were gonna need childcare. It was super easy because we were still in the field at that point. Basically, we got a bunch of volunteers and a soccer ball, I believe, and that was that. This year, since then, it's always a discussion every year, and we always get complaints about not having it every year, but there hasn't really been much of a demand for it until this year. So far this year, I've been contacted by 5 different families, specifically requesting that we provide childcare at this year. I learned recently there are 20 kids in the preschool class this year. So that's a huge, for Shutesbury, that's a big class size. I think that one of the results of the demographic changes that have happened in town over the last couple years is we're back in that space where we have a lot of young families now in town. And I do think that it is important that we get back to the habit of childcare being a regular thing, like it was when I was growing up. Now, the logistics have definitely been complicated. Because we're not really in the practice of doing it every year anymore. So I've been working with the PTO and brainstorming ideas, and a couple weeks ago, we had a meeting with me and the moderator, Nettie, and our previous moderator, Paul, and our police chief, Kristen. And I mentioned that, I'd reached out to all the people who had volunteered to provide childcare in the past. And it was very clear to me that it wasn't going to happen unless I had money to pay somebody, which I hadn't, wasn't really part of my budget. And so I was like, well, I don't necessarily have the money to do that. Kristen suggested that we could use money from the community policing fund, and the 4 of us discussed it and thought that sounded like a really good plan. I reached out to somebody who is a current preschool teacher at the school, and I asked them, would you be willing to provide childcare at town meeting? I can offer you $200, a $200 stipend, and my plan is also to require that people sign up by next Thursday so that we would have a sense of how many kids would be showing up. I was hoping, especially since the provider is a preschool teacher, that we would be allowed access to the preschool room. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen right now. So there are a couple people who I have off the top of my head that I could ask for, can we borrow some tents or something like that? But I was asked to wait until making further plans until this conversation. So that is where we are at right now.
Okay, Grace. So you can't, so we're gonna be at the school, but you won't be able to use any of the classrooms in the school, right? Did you say?
I believe that is what Haley reported back last week from her email with the principal. Which again, I think is more a product of how we're just not used to doing this now. We're out of the habit because we used to always do childcare in either the preschool room or the library. So I think we're just out of the habit of it, and there are logistical things.
And there's be only one person watching. Is there gonna be a limit to the number of kids that the person would be watching?
There could be, that is part of the planning process that I would like to move forward on at this point.
What number might that be?
That is an excellent question. I don't have an answer for you right now because this is the first time that question has been posed to me.
And then my other question is, since you're outside and the playground equipment is there, what's the plan for supervision of across the playground? Because I imagine that would be utilized by the kids.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are going to be there anyway and outside. So it's either we don't do childcare and there's absolutely zero supervision, or parents are going in and out of town meeting to keep an eye on their kids and trying to attend the meeting at the same time. Or at least we could, have somebody. My ideal would be that they would be in a room, but right now that has not been offered.
Seems to me, given the possibility it could be pouring rain, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
We almost have to have the ability to be in the building if we have to, it seems. If we can't.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that reason. And there are other reasons why we do need access to other rooms in the building during town meeting. And in the past, we've had access, but yeah.
Right now, they are predicting rain for Saturday, the 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my concern if there's it's not only rain, but if it was only one person and something happened to a child or somebody had to go to the bathroom and needed to be supervised, then the other children could conceivably be left alone. So if you only have one person there, I would think you'd need multiple people.
That would be great. I don't have a lot of time to find other people, but I'd be happy to try.
Yeah, I think given the late date that maybe for this year, it doesn't make sense. I think the idea of having childcare makes sense, Grace. It would be a lovely thing to be able to do. I'd like to be able to talk to the school about thinking through having a room there, opening up the library. And I'm not sure why they don't want to allow access. Maybe it's just a security thing, or
She didn't ask,
say.
and, I didn't think to ask. Hey,
Yeah,
if we were gonna provide the service,
yeah,
what could you offer?
yeah,
Definitely will know better for next year.
yeah, yeah. But, on a rainy day with,
Free access to the world.
yeah, with not having space.
And it may be because
Inside.
their custodian doesn't work on Saturday and that
Yeah,
would
that's right,
require a
that's right,
custodian.
you did say,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
would have, and
Yeah.
maybe we'd have to pay for a custodian.
We might have to, yeah, in that case.
Right.
Um,
It just seems like for this year that maybe it doesn't, but with some planning, some more advanced planning, that we could do it for next year.
Yeah.
So that we would talk to the school
Right.
well in advance. Find out what it would take to get a space there and to make sure that we had access to the bathrooms and what would it cost? And also,
We,
you know,
we
what-
do have access to the bathrooms.
we do, yeah.
Yeah.
What do we need in terms of, in these days of, litigious, these litigious days, you know, do we need waivers from parents or whatever for,
According to,
Somebody-
we haven't in the past, and, from my conversations with other town clerks, that's not a requirement.
so if a child got hurt on the playground and they were being watched by, that they were being supervised by somebody that was being paid for by the town, there's no liability on the town's part.
That would not be a question for me. That would be a question for Donna.
Yeah, so
And
that-
also a question to talk about previously, when this first came up and not a week ahead of time.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I will also say that is still a risk whether or not we provide childcare, because it's still a town event.
Right.
And luckily, all our emergency responders are on site that day.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would kind of side with Reed and say it's a great idea. And it just requires some organization that we don't have time to do now, to do it right. I would think, it's just, that's all. That'd be the only reason not to do it, but you
I
can't.
I
Go ahead.
don't fully disagree with you. I
Okay.
wish that we had been able to have this conversation earlier.
Right. Good.
Do we need to take a vote on that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So, I guess that's our thoughts. I think that the select board does agree. It may be and of course, with the rain, you know, but more planning next year, earlier.
yeah, and engaging with the school, with
Yeah.
the principal, right?
Right.
I agree with all of that. All right.
Okay, great, thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to finalizing annual town meeting warrant.
I'm gonna get all your
Right,
copies here.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah, so you had that,
Thank
that's,
you,
that's
Leslie.
the wrong
I
one.
see the X, I'm gonna say it with
Okay.
that. Okay.
So we got some comments from Donna, do you, you should have a copy for, yeah, take my copy, yeah, just,
Speaking to.
okay.
Okay.
So we have to go
Oh.
through these.
I took Donna's comments and updated the draft, so I uploaded it to Drive, if you could.
Oh, I can pull it
Okay,
right
all
up.
right. Oh,
Okay, we'll
great.
do that. That
Thank
might
you,
work.
Brian, that's great.
Thank you. Nice work. Let me just,
That's very modern.
yeah, let me just get to that. That's
A live update.
Live update, this just in.
This just in, hang on.
Great to have him upstairs, right, us down here.
Yeah, what's that? Ooh. I imagine he put it in ours for tonight.
It's like in those sports things, they go to the commentator off in New York City or something, well, that was the right call they made, the ref made, or whatever.
Give me a second to find today's date. It is the 20th, right? May 20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, I don't even know, I don't know what that means. I don't-
Uh,
Well, Article 2, there's no appropriation
have another
language
one?
in this article. The town not only approves the budget adopted by the regional school, but must appropriate the money for the town's assessment as well. Not clear if the money is in the omnibus budget article 3, or whether you need to.
Hi, Brennan. It's Melissa. I know you're on the screen there. Could you, tell me where you put it? I don't see it in tonight's meeting.
Yeah. What, oh, Gail, did Gail have a question?
I'm just trying to, Gail, go ahead, ask your question. I'm just waiting for.
I was
Brennan
wondering
to-
if it could be put up on screen share so that we can see what it is.
Looking at, yeah, thank you, Brendan, I have it now. That was my mistake for, so give me a second to figure out share, because I've got 3 screens going here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is just, it adopts the budget, but it doesn't say that we're gonna.
Yeah,
Pay for it.
it's right, it will vote to raise and appropriate.
All right,
I know that, I
Um,
know, that was a weird line.
give me a moment.
If we
I
don't
need to
raise
bring
and
people back.
appropriate.
I need to share it on our screen here.
I think it is included in Article 3.
Give me a moment.
Where do you think this language came from in Article 2? Did this come from the finance committee?
All right, I have to ask people what they see. Did they see me moving something currently that are online? Or do you see the warrant?
Are you asking us in the audience?
Yes, yes, in the audience online.
I see your drive menu.
Oh, you do, okay. Hang on a second.
It started out as the warrant.
Yeah, I put it on the wrong screen, so give me a moment. Okay. Let's try that again.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, Gail, now do you see the warrant?
No, I've still got a blank screen. Nope. If you open that document and then screen that.
You get
did.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I think this is.
Did
It's
you see
there.
it?
it's there.
Okay, thank you.
I think this.
It may have taken a second to load up on you. I'm gonna do it again. Sharing again, just someone confirm they see the warrant. Yeah, it's, wait a second, it's taking a second to load. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
All right.
all right, and that one's gonna
Yes.
be visible to us, so give me a moment. This is when we do Jenga, computer screen Jenga. We won't be able to see everybody, and I apologize for that. But we'll be able to
No,
see your
this is
hands if you raise.
different.
Okay. Awesome. All right, here we go, Rita. Oops. Well, let's not do that. Let's do that. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Do we want to go through article number 1?
yeah.
Uh,
So what's Article 2 is the first one.
Yep.
So Article 2, is, that's the sum total, the $37 million is the sum total of the Amherst Pelham Regional School District budget, and it says that, that they're using the statutory method as outlined in section 6 and 7 of the regional agreement, and the assessment for the towns is going to be as listed there. And typically in that article, it's not, we don't talk about the appropriation language. The appropriation language is in Article 3, which is, talks about our, everything, so that the amount for the Amherst Pelham Regional School District assessment is embedded in that $7,678,806 amount. So I think, I think Article 2 doesn't need to change. I could join via Zoom in 10 minutes if that works. So AJ, that's AJ. So let's just assume, can we go back to that and just double check with him on that one? But I think that's okay. But I'd just like to verify that with him because that Article 2 language is a little bit different than what it's been in the past. The way it reads is just a little bit different. So, if everybody's good with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
That's the case, then I'll just remove the heading, because I made that.
Okay.
Recommended.
So AJ will come in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as soon as he shows up, we'll just, okay. So Melissa, I'll turn it back.
Okay.
to you for a
So,
second.
so he's coming on just for number 2?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so Brendan, I just see a format thing on number 3. But I'll highlight it for you. See how it ends here, not here.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. We can go over those after. Number 3 is to appropriate.
you need to go through all of these, or just,
I don't know. I
just Donna's changes?
Okay, Donna's changes.
Yeah, I think
Which
so,
is
because I
good.
think we've been
Yeah.
through everything, right?
Yeah.
You did.
All right, so number 19, go down.
Are you good, Nettie, with, I mean, we've been through all of them, unless you have any questions on any of the articles?
No, I'm the following.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm just gonna get some of the 19. So. There we go. Okay, so bills of prior years article.
Yeah,
And this one Donna had a
changes it.
4th, 5th, not 10, 9, 10.
I think that's right. I think she's right.
Really?
I
I
think
always thought it was fine.
Only at special, she says it's
Oh,
only
sure,
special.
special town meetings, okay,
Okay,
so it's 4/5,
So we're-
okay,
we're good there.
yep,
And then number 20, which is the rate development article, she had said needs to be a 2/3 vote is what she believes that has to be. 21 and 22 as well. Is a 2/3 vote. And I think that's because it's a bylaw. So are we good with those suggestions?
yep,
Mhm.
And then, 38, which is the fur crop,
one second, article, I just want to get the article, I want to catch up with you
20,
guys.
21 and 22 are all 2/3 vote.
Okay,
And then we
right.
go down to 38.
article 38. Article 38. Okay,
I'm getting there. to find it.
38. To all to the warrant that the charter amendment document will be available at the town hall prior to the town meeting and copies of it. Please add this under the article in italics. We took it out, remember?
Yeah, we did.
Because it seemed really weird that it was in the warrant. that they add to the warrant, okay. So did you put, oh, he left.
Yeah, he did. It's
Oh,
right
you
here.
put it back
Yeah,
in,
he did.
okay.
He did.
Okay. Um. Is there?
Oh, wait a
under
second, it
the-
doesn't
Under
say.
the article,
Under the article. The remainder of this warrant is legally and generally acceptable.
okay.
So
Okay.
we
so
will add
that's
that in.
Article 38.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one question.
Yeah.
For Donna on, I think it was Article 44. Michael had some questions about the wording and the language and whether or not it could be binding. So I have
Article 44.
it's a citizen's petition. So I just have to send his request to Donna and have her double check it.
Article 44.
Let me double check.
So so I know a couple of there were questions about whether or not on a couple of the citizens petitions, whether or not they could, if they came in as whether they could be made into bylaws versus,
Yeah, it was kind of, how do you get the wording so that it has more teeth than just like a resolution would? So
Right.
that's what I just need to confirm with Donna.
but I thought that there was something that came that there was an email that said on town meeting floor that you could make something into a bylaw.
Yes. So maybe that was, well, I'll just check with him if he still needs me to ask. Or if he's gonna make a motion.
Do you recall seeing that?
I do.
Do
I
you?
already said that.
Michael's email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who was the email from? I thought that there was an email where there was an opinion given. Do you recall seeing it,
I
Nettie?
didn't, so Donna and I did speak last night, and she said she was not sure that,
Oh, okay.
that after the citizens had signed the petition, that we would be able to turn it into a bylaw.
Oh,
She
okay.
said she was not convinced.
Oh, okay.
So she
Because
had-
after it came in, so the citizens they didn't
No,
know
it
that it was
signed
gonna
or
be,
did not sign, they made their choice based on.
Oh. okay, that the language didn't say bylaw. Was that the case in both citizens petitions, that it didn't say bylaw?
It said policy throughout.
In
In the,
In
no,
44?
not in both citizens petitions.
What's the number?
Hopefully
This says
in
town-
safe.
safe and welcoming community
Yes.
was a policy, and in the other,
Yeah, but then it probably would have to make a motion to amend the wording. So it says, throughout.
but I think it
But
sounds
Donna
like,
had said that she felt that she wasn't sure that was enough warning, enough warning for the town.
okay,
And that perhaps we should consider it a resolution right now, and then for the special town meeting. Think about turning it into a bylaw, whether that would be by the select board or another petition.
okay.
So we're talking about no, Article 35, you say that, or Article 44?
44.
Both.
And Article
35 has to be a bylaw, so.
Article 35 is a bylaw.
Right.
Yeah, that had, that
That is, that
bylaw
came
from
in
the
as a
start.
bylaw.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that wasn't a citizen, but that was worked with us, remember?
right,
We had it
Right.
attached with that, yeah.
right, okay. Okay, so and the other one
Okay.
wasn't, okay,
Got it.
right, I was getting them all mixed up, okay.
We've looked at these documents so much.
I know. Well, there's a lot. All right. Let's see, when did AJ? Is there, is there anything else with warrants that you have questions about, Nettie?
I just got the newest version. this very moment.
Okay,
So instead of double, triple check. to
Okay.
Make sure that that changes we emailed about.
okay. No, no problem. We have, we're waiting for
Take a
AJ
moment.
anyway. We should just scan through it, but I think we had voted on all of these,
We did. Mhm.
so,
And I think I remember the vote being, you know, the Donna, as amended by Donna too.
Right. right, so we would just go back and,
It's all in the May 13th minutes.
right,
Yes,
Yeah, all the votes,
yeah, and our amendment.
and we had, I just want to double check. We have the new amount for the historic board.
So does this include, so one of the things that we had spoken about was taking the Shutesbury Safe Community bylaw and putting it back to back with the town policy to preserve and protect and welcome community citizens petition. Because the language is so similar, this way we could make sure that the citizens know exactly the differences if we directly juxtapose them one after the other. So that there's no confusion about what people are voting for.
Okay.
In the past, we've always had the citizen petitions at the end of
Right.
the regular.
And we could still do that. The Shutesbury Safe Community bylaw
Just to
could be
put
moved
it,
to just before the citizens petition. I feel like it could clarify a lot.
we could do that, yeah, we could just move it, right?
Yeah, yeah, magic. The magic of words.
Just not after we decide, right?
Right. The magic of editing, yep.
Yeah, that's fine. I just didn't want to bring the citizen petition up because we always have them at the end of.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
okay,
both articles are very different in their own ways.
Yes.
But.
but having them,
Put next
yes,
to each
yeah,
other.
no, I
Yeah.
think that makes sense, because, yeah, people might get confused, so is that, you got that?
35 is the
35.
bylaw,
Third,
Shutesbury Safe Community bylaw.
And
The
then-
J is here too.
And then it
already.
would go to be,
so we could swap 35 and 43.
We just wrote that.
Yes, basically.
It's not.
Hang on a second, Gail, let us just get the 35 and,
oh, and AJ is here.
yeah, I see J's here.
We'll be with you in 1 minute, AJ, we just have one quick question for you.
Do you have that, Brendan? Gail had the question, I was just gonna call. Go ahead, Gail.
I had heard you referencing Article 35, I believe that's the bylaw for safe community.
We're just moving it. We're moving it so that it abuts the other,
Okay.
citizens. Just so it, yeah.
So
let's
I heard there was
just-
something going on about it, and I couldn't hear what it was, so that's fine. It's not going to change it.
No,
No, no, just
Okay.
order.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So AJ, is you okay with me
Oh, go
going
for it.
ahead? Okay. So AJ, Donna, just asked a question about Article 2, just because the wording is a little bit, different than what we've had in the past.
Yes,
And she wanted to make sure that we didn't need to have any appropriation language in Article 2. So the way the Article 2 reads is to see if the town will vote to adopt a budget, $37 million for fiscal year 2026 for the Amherst Pelham Regional School District using the statutory method, and then the breakdown by the different communities. And
yeah,
because Article 3 is, is the full town budget, which
Right.
includes, the amount of money. So that's what, yeah, we assume Article 2 doesn't need any appropriation language in it.
right, right, because it's a component of the operating budget. And
Right.
just for background, I took the language for Article 2 directly from the motion that the regional school committee acted on when they approved the budget. So I literally just took their vote verbatim, which I know is what Leverett, and I'm pretty sure Pelham did as well at their town meeting. So the main difference this year is that we used to have to include language about an alternative assessment method, because that's what we had been doing every year for who knows how long. But this is I think the first year, at least in a long while, where we're using the regional agreement method as, you know, as written. We're not actually using an alternative assessment. So that made this, I think, this language a little bit more simplified.
Okay, all right, yeah, so that's why it just looks really different, so I think
Yes.
she was concerned that, just to make sure, but,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine, we just want to reassure her that the funding for the,
Yeah.
for the regional school budget is in fact included in the $7,678,000.
100% correct. Yeah, it's a line in the operating budget.
Yeah, okay, all right, great, that's all we needed you for, just
Okay,
to
cool.
make sure. Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Well, I'm at my
a lot.
desk now if anything else comes up.
Okay,
All
all right, thanks a lot.
Take
Bye.
care.
Okay, good, so, I think that takes care of everything, anything else?
No.
And we're gonna do the consent agenda for, you know, some of those articles.
Yes. For some of the articles that are very procedural and routine.
Yeah.
And non-controversial, so I think it's 4 through 9,
Uh-huh,
and then the CPC has one also.
okay,
It is 20. Just a bit.
It does down here.
Trying to scroll through it now. So articles 4 through 9, I would request to be in the consent
Yeah.
agenda. And then CBC is 21. Yes. So that is 23 through 27.
Yeah.
So those would be closing the Lake Wyola Canoe Launch CPA grant.
Yeah.
It's closing the Southbrook Conservation Area Trails Consultant CPA grant. It is rescinding Old Town Hall Structural Repairs Project grant. And administrative costs.
okay,
And that would be the end of the consent agenda. That's all closing old accounts, right? And then the ones that are starting accounts. Those would not be consent agenda.
okay. All right, great.
Okay.
I think we're good.
So,
Done?
with that,
So we just
yeah.
need to
so we
vote.
need to vote to approve the final town meeting warrant, and we need to sign it.
Okay. All right, I will make a motion to.
Brennan's appetite.
It's finally.
Wow. You got a good break in there.
Yeah.
44 items.
Yeah.
Yes, do that.
I will make a motion to approve the town meeting, warrant as amended, this evening.
Second.
All right, any further discussion or questions, anything? All those in favor?
Carol, I.
Stalker, aye.
And I'll send this around so we can all sign it right now for
Okay.
Brendan and Haley.
Okay. So, just so you know, Eric is not gonna be in town meeting, so it's gonna be. Yeah,
So we're done with that, so
Yep.
we shall move on to the town administrator's report. Report to us.
The first thing I have is that I did meet with, Elena from Senator Comerford's office and Maddie from Rep Saunders' office and with Rep Saunders himself, regarding the PFAS loan situation, so.
good.
They are pursuing that on our behalf, writing letters. From my conversation with them, it looks like we're gonna kind of go at it. Rep Saunders put in, it was $500,000, in a bond bill that Governor Haley passed. So the bond bill, the money isn't there until it gets raised, but that is an angle that they're going to try to work on with DEP to say, look, we really want to save face, this is the 2 grants that you have approved and then said, oops, no, we're not going to give you the money.
Right.
So that's in progress. It will likely take a while. They were very clear that it was not going to be a quick process. And then today I also got a call, a voicemail from Jeffrey at Time Bond that they are engaging with DEP on some potential grants that they might be able to apply to us. I haven't had a chance to call him back yet, but so that's at least 2 avenues that we are pretty aggressively pursuing additional funding for the PFAS mitigation.
Did they talk about the possibility of, you had mentioned at some point about perhaps not needing to report quite as frequently?
Yes, so Rep Saunders has put through a request with the legislature to reduce from quarterly to either semi or annually. So that would save us.
Especially if there was a what is it called? Like a if there's no,
Yeah,
yeah, what's the term, Brennan, if there's a non-detect, right? If there's
Yeah.
a non-detect, right? So, because now you have a non-detect, you still have to spend $800 or $400 in 3 months.
Right.
For another report,
yeah. So I'm hopeful that at
yeah,
the very least, we can get the testing reduced.
right.
Because I think Gail said it was something like 30,000, maybe 40,000 a quarter for the testing. And of course, it's especially Brennan's time,
Right.
sending out all the
Oh, yeah.
information
Right,
and
so it's beyond that.
coordinating it.
Yeah.
Senator Comerford has also asked, Rita was at this meeting, TAs and select boards to submit wording for a joint letter to the legislature about the Quabbin watershed. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be sending that in, so we can make sure that we have our thoughts represented on that.
Can I just tell you, there was a letter that was circulated that Eric had back a while ago put together just a paragraph about Shutesbury.
Okay.
I should forward it to you because I did a little bit of editing and sent it along back to this group. So the letter was about the legislation to get the MWRA to set up this trust fund.
Yes.
And so they have something drafted, and then Eric had written a paragraph, and some of the other towns now have written stuff. So I went back and I just updated a couple of things
Okay.
in it, and
I have it right here. You want me to read it or want me to?
yeah, well, yeah, you could read it here. Let me see if I can find what I just changed like a
Yeah,
couple of things in it. Oh, here, let me see.
I think I said 70, well, you're at 80.
Yeah, yeah,
I
so
can
do you
see
have
it.
it now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll read it,
I have
yeah.
this, I have. it.
Yeah, I put it up to 1,700 people and I just changed a couple of
Okay,
things
well,
with it.
all right.
Yeah, so read
I'm
it,
just
yeah,
reading from the website. I guess
yeah,
that's
oh, okay,
that's
yeah.
A couple hundred people short.
Yeah,
So this is a part of the letter that's written to the MWRA about why they should do it. And it's just Eric Stocker, Shutesbury Select Board member. Shutesbury is a town that borders the Quabbin Reservoir. We have a population of just over 1,700 people. Approximately 30% of our land is owned and controlled by the Quabbin. We have no municipal water supply and have worked diligently over the past 2 decades to adopt strict wetlands and watershed protections that benefit not only our town residents, but also our Quabbin neighbors. I think maybe you added that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's good. I'm glad you did. 4 years ago, PFAS was detected in the wells in the center of town as a result of our local fire department using foam containing quote unquote forever chemical polyfluoroalkyl, blah, 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 PFAS, for putting out practice fires. These seemingly widespread innocent practice has contaminated about 80 wells in Shutesbury. As of this writing, our small town has had to spend nearly $700,000 to temporarily mediate the situation. These costs are ongoing as we are required to do quarterly testing, which is expensive and time consuming. It is in the realm of possibility that we will eventually need to install a municipal water system to at least part of the town at a cost of millions of dollars. It is ironic that one of the watershed towns that has also worked for decades. Oh no, also worked for decades to protect the water for our fellow citizens from the eastern part of the Commonwealth will go broke trying to keep water for its own townspeople potable. This bill will spread the cost for clean water more equitably among all of us. Those are good changes you made.
Thank you.
But,
No, it was great. I mean, so that is now incorporated into the letter. So
Okay.
Lexi Dewey had taken, I think what you wrote and
Yeah.
so now, I think Salem and a couple
Yeah,
other
yeah.
towns.
and they're trying to get other towns to.
Yeah, they're trying to
weigh
get
in,
other towns to step
Especially,
up. So,
especially watershed towns.
yes, yeah.
That's-
So a bunch of towns haven't done anything yet, but
Right.
she was like desperately sending stuff out.
Yeah, so that's good,
So I
that's
think
good.
you're covered.
Good.
Yeah,
That saves me a little time.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I also just wanted to plant a seed that at some point in the very near future, we should establish a committee to oversee the use of the old library sites, especially if things go according to plan and it opens in September-ish. We'll want to have something on the books. I got a call from Mr. Williams, who runs the camp in town, Kevin Williams, and he has a,
Pinebrook?
yeah, Pinebrook.
Oh, okay. We have 2 camps. We have
Yeah.
More still.
more so.
Yeah, this one's Pinebrook. And he just, we had I think it was either my first or my second select board meeting, we had talked about doing the beaver deceiver in the dam.
Oh, right.
And he just wanted to express that they had some concerns about traffic and, safety when they're moving the kayak, so I said that would bring that to your attention.
They won't help us pay for anything.
I can ask him, I
That's
mean,
what
I think,
people
because I
said.
think that's true,
Can't acquire what cash is,
yeah.
in terms of deep beaver work there.
I could definitely pursue that with him. I know there's some other conversations that have to happen regarding dam access too, so.
Yeah.
We had a presentation today, which I will send to all of you tomorrow when I get the links. About a proposal for a North Quabbin Fire District. So we had some representatives from the Collins Center, and this was the second part of a study they had done where they talked about, what it might look like, what might response times be, where would you put it, how would you staff it, and they're going to look into governance structures. So at the conclusion of the meeting, I was nominated to.
Oh, here's a new one.
Nominated to set up a meeting with one select board member, TA and fire chief, just to talk it over. If it's something that we actually want to pursue or not. But I thought that would be a good starting point, just to get everybody in the same room, so. I don't know if anyone wants to volunteer for that tonight. I'll ask you
What was
again.
the discussion? Just remember.
It's just a future meeting about a proposal to make a North Quabbin fire district.
So it's a select board member, the fire chief, and who else?
TA,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it would just be to talk, not really to make any decisions one way or another, but just to
Questions, that
gauge,
sort of thing.
yeah, gauge interest.
I don't mind if it's on the
Okay.
fire department table.
Okay, good. And they there was a written proposal at some point that talked about what a fire district would be, right?
In our email, yeah. I think there's
Yeah, yeah, so we could go back.
Yeah.
Had you seen any of that material?
Yeah, he did send it to me. That
did,
probably
okay.
was the first round, so this one was a little bit
Yeah.
more updated,
Oh,
with like
okay.
an assessment cost. And, you know,
More
and
financial based, I think. this
yes,
municipal.
yeah, it took
Okay.
more of those.
So is
into
there something you can share with us? Is there,
I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me. I believe it was like a 10% increase over what we pay now to be a part of the district. But then you also have to consider the fact that the district would function as its own enterprise, so they would set their own tax, which might be something for people, and, you know.
so they would assess,
like
Yeah.
the school, like the school
Yeah, they have their own
Oh,
levy.
membership.
okay.
So that's a consideration, you know, you, in some areas might get slower call volume. But you would get the benefit of perhaps having dedicated firefighters and EMTs who could service the towns. So kind of ease up the reliance on volunteers. You know, there's a lot of pros and cons. You'd be making a lot of trade-offs, so I think it would be, at least if it, before we take it to the citizens, it might be worth it to find out if our fire chiefs and everyone
Okay,
wants to do that.
okay.
And then, so I had emailed the department heads to ask if they wanted to include any updates in my TA report, and assuming you don't have any other questions. The first update is from the highway. Sand Hill Road is closed until further notice due to safety issues caused by rainwater washing out part of the road. Houses can be accessed by West Pelham Road, but they're thinking it might be a couple weeks before people can get access back.
From that last heavy rainfall?
I can believe it.
I have, Chief Burgess had asked me to say that the body cameras are in and will be operational within a few weeks. And then I got an update from Mary Ann, the library, that library users have participated in 556 live classes and 165 video classes of practice, which I think is a meditation, type program.
Well, actually, it's all different, exercise. It's not just meditation,
Cool.
it's any kind of, all different kind of exercise. Yeah, strength training, yeah.
And then the Friends of the Library, so at the Florence Bank Customer Choice Award Community Grants, they awarded on May 13th, the Friends of the Library with a $4,181 grant. So
That's great.
That's good.
and then the one last thing I need to talk about is, so we had last week issued a letter to Shelburne Dispatch appointing Devin Cedric Pelletier as officer in charge, and we will now need to rescind that letter because our police chief is back on duty. So I have a very brief letter that just needs your signatures, and I can get it to dispatch. Assuming you want to vote to.
Yeah,
To do that.
that's good. So before we do that, I just wanted to say that Devin did, at our request, fulfill the officer in charge position. And so for the days that he has been, I do want to just thank him for doing that for us at our request.
Absolutely.
And so do I hear a motion to sign the letter for Shelburne Dispatch to rescind Devin Pelletier's appointment for officer in charge?
So moved.
Second,
Right, all those in favor?
Carol, I.
Dr.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. And you will send this Haley too?
Yes. I think his name is Douglas.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's what I do. Okay, is there anything else that we needed to attend to? Oh, yes, I will have a cupcake. Busy sharing. Okay, so, and for those who hadn't heard, we are celebrating Haley's graduation.
Yes, congratulations. Yep. Congratulations, Haley.
She finished her master's.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Glad to
and
be
I
done.
see a Jay's hand raised up there.
AJ?
Yeah, so sorry to chime in. You may have tackled this earlier in the meeting before I joined, but there is this the region has this fiscal sustainability group that it's sort of in the process of forming. I know Rita's been involved in conversations with Lynn Griesmer. There was a discussion this morning, and apparently the superintendent has sent out an email saying it's a little confusing because she was suggesting Tuesday, June 18th, but June 18th is a Wednesday. But in any event, there's she's proposing a meeting to kind of kickstart the regional school budgeting discussion. And it looks like from her letters, her suggestion is that in addition to members of the regional school committee, that each town, each municipality would have 5 members join that conversation. So I don't know if you need to make a decision tonight. But just to sort of plant that seed that I think you guys are gonna want to identify 5 people that separate from Anna, who I think would attend as a member of the regional school committee to participate in that.
It was 5, AJ? I didn't read the thing. It was 5?
Yeah, it's the way I'm reading it, it says the participants include members of the Amherst School Committee, the Pelham School Committee, the Regional School Committee, and 5 members from each municipality. So I suppose that could be an up to 5. I don't know if, but
Big committee.
How to make sure something doesn't work.
right. Yeah, it is going to be a big group. Anyway,
Yeah,
just-
okay,
just to plant that seed. Yeah.
okay.
And that this informal group right now is drafting a set of questions that I think they would like to have sort of frame the work of this ongoing committee. Oh, and that conversation on the 18th, apparently the proposal is to have it be mediated by a member of the Massachusetts Association of Regional School Committees, something along those lines.
Okay, I cannot be there on the 18th.
Okay. I'm available if you guys want me to do that, to be involved, but anyway, again, there's up to 5 people, so
Okay,
plenty of opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, thanks, AJ.
Sure.
All right, so, I'm gonna give you this here. All right, thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Right, motion to
So
adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Okay, thank
Second.
you. Thank you for
All
coming,
those in
everyone.
favor, Carol, I.
Make peace on the eye.
That's right.